Joe, I think that everybody that's dedicated to the podcast, that listens to the podcast, knows exactly how we have the show set up. We go into different segments. They're all unique. They're all our own. We didn't rip anybody off. This is River Street official. This is River Street Marketing official business. I'd like to welcome everybody listening tonight. Thank you for listening to the River Street Podcast. You can find us on iTunes. Type in River Street Podcast. Go to YouTube. Check out our YouTube page, the River Street Marketing YouTube page. Go ahead and go on Facebook. Find us on Facebook, River Street Marketing. Matter of fact, we're going to take it another step further. We're on SoundCloud, River Street Podcast, and we're on Instagram, one of my favorite places to be. So go ahead, check us out, give us a like on that Facebook, don't hold back. With me as always, and I mean that because he's on every episode, day in and day out, he's working hard, Mr. Joe Perry. I'm always Preston Olson. Nothing to worry about there. Tonight, we just wanted everybody to know we have added somebody else to the podcast.
Yes, we have.
An actual originator, correct, Joe, if I'm right in saying that, an actual originator for River Street. He's very big into music, very big into gaming, very knowledgeable, and a very, very good soul. Just a good soul. I'll tell you one thing about him. He didn't show up for work today. So, you know, we're going to give him some heat on Tuesday when we record the next one, but that's okay.
Right.
He was busy. He was helping a friend out. I understand. It's all good. But we are going to hold his check back. We're going to hold his check back for this. Is that correct, Joe? We're going to hold his pay.
I think you were getting ready to just go ahead and fire him, hand him out severance.
Yeah,
but I said, let's wait. He did good on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, he did.
Let's run our Friday.
Yep.
And he'll be back Tuesday.
And
he's got a really good music segment for you guys listening. I don't know if any of you guys listening were wondering, man, when are they actually going to talk about music? Because it is true. We haven't really got into music, have we? No.
No, we haven't.
But that's cool. Now, Preston, I think it's time to get into the blend.
It's time that we open up the show with our most important segment, the beginning segment. This is called the blend. We can talk about anything in here. Remember, if there's something you want us to talk about, go ahead and comment it to us. Send it to us in an email. Send it to us on Facebook. It doesn't matter. We're here to not only please the listeners and the viewers, but we're also here because we enjoy it. And if people weren't listening, we'd still be doing it. But we are pushing to get people to listen. So go ahead, send us anything you want to hear. Now we're going to delve right into the blend. Joe's going to open it up for us tonight. Joe, the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, all this talk about Ryan not showing up to work. There's somebody who did finally show up to work. Justin Trudeau in Canada. We finally come to our senses. Okay, Preston, follow me.
I'm following you.
Canada, as a country-wide, we're going to legalize marijuana come July 2018.
Wow.
Promised no later.
Wow. Joe, is this real? Are you pulling my leg?
This is real.
My leg?
I'm not pulling your leg because maybe before last year or the year before I might have been pulling your leg because we were told it was legal but only medical card, and then every dispensary that opened because of that got shut down and raided every 2 weeks. So
that's a shame.
The market was pretty sketchy.
Yeah, that's a shame. And you know what? It's a little bit similar in the States. Here in America, it's a little bit similar. But Joe, you opened it up very well. He did get back to work. He campaigned on this, if I'm correct.
He did.
Trudeau, this was a big part of his campaign.
A lot of young voters.
A lot of young voters. A lot of millennial voters, college kids. Canada has great universities, prestigious universities. The people in those universities, the students there, they're smart. They're in tune with what's going on with their country. They can speak on Canada better than I can speak on Canada. Joe can speak on Canada better than I can speak on Canada. So when he brings this to my attention, I'm paying attention because this full legalization of marijuana by the latest of July 2018, Joe, that's huge. Because in the States, it's an everyday battle to try to get this on the table.
Right. And now some states, they are recreational. As if you don't know, please go to our website and find Preston's article on which state is in his opinion, the best one to live in for a stoner.
Yep.
If you can't find it on there, I'm sure it's on our Facebook.
It's on riverstreetmarketing.com or on the Facebook. You can actually go back in the history and you'll see it there.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I feel like I'm hearing on the radio or reading articles about this whole Canada legalization thing by July 2018, but I feel like some of them are lacking the fact of what it means to be legal and like kind of the quick facts. We'll call them the quick facts.
We'll call them the quick facts. No, that's a good way to put it. Joe, go right ahead, man.
So basically, with the cannabis, we're just going to call it the cannabis here. You still have to be over 18, okay? And some provinces can change that age.
I would assume up. Obviously, they would go up in age.
Right. Other rules are any legal adult can carry 30 grams of legal cannabis in public and grow up to 4 plants per household at a maximum height of 1 meter. So a few feet. But about 3.5, 4 feet.
Yep. Bingo.
Which is a legal seed or a seedling. But so I mean, they want you to have the weed from the government, right? That seed that's from the government, a certain amount of plants, a certain height, and a decent amount of grams. So it's like, yeah, they're regulating it, but this is pretty good. This is pretty lenient.
This is pretty lenient, Joe.
I can grow 4 plants, no bullshit.
Yeah, you can grow 4 plants, no bullshit.
Excuse my language.
Oh, you're all right. I'll tell you. You know what? 30 grams, and I know you use the metric system up there, and actually most of the world uses the metric system. But what's really interesting to me, and I don't know if it's interesting necessarily to too many other people, is that when he said 30 grams, last time I checked, 28 grams was an ounce. So they're going to allow you to have more than an ounce, and I don't know in the metric system how the grams and I don't understand how that works. I think they're just going to run it the same way, whatever the scale says. But I'll tell you what, 30 grams, that's more than enough. That's more than enough. So they definitely nailed it with that.
Absolutely.
Joe, is there anything else you want to add to this topic here? Anything else?
Basically, folks, just please, when it does happen, or if you're doing it right now, if you're smoking now, please just do it responsibly. Be careful, and remember, they will crack down on you. They basically see it as impaired driving. You cannot smoke while you're driving.
And don't do it. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it makes you drive slower. Oh, it can't hurt you. If you're high, if you're stoned, do not get behind the wheel.
Right.
Don't. I don't care if you think you're the best driver in the world, okay? Because guess what? That could be the last time you drive. So just remember that. Now, Joe, we're moving on to, and we got to get pumped up about this. We do. We got to get psyched up. Come on now. We're talking about a man, a great man, who half the country loves and half the country doesn't love so much. President Donald J. Trump has now ordered the U.S. Treasury to delve into taxes and post-crisis reforms. Now, let me elaborate on this a little bit because I know you're probably thinking, what are you talking about, Preston? This is a slippery slope. Politics is never a fun thing. It never makes friends. So we're going to bring this up. We're going to give you the facts about this, and then we're moving on. So basically, what I'm getting from this article, and it's on Reuters by Lisa Lambert out of Washington, U.S. President Donald Trump will order the Treasury on Friday to find and reduce tax burdens and review post-financial crisis reforms that banks and insurance companies have said hinder their ability to do business. A White House official said on Thursday that Trump will issue an executive order directing the Treasury on the tax issue. He will also issue 2 memoranda asking for reviews of 2 parts of the 2010 Dodd-Frank Wall Street reform law. The orderly liquidation authority that sets out how big banks can wind down during a crisis, and the Financial Stability Oversight Council, also known as the FSOC, which is made up of the country's top regulators. The orders, which Trump will sign at the Treasury Department next door to the White House, comes as the president works toward making good on a major campaign promise to lower taxes. Joe, this is a big.
That was a brain buster.
That was a brain buster. It's going to draw people back. They might have to rewind that part just to get all of it. I speak a little bit fast. That's my downfall. But I'm hoping it's getting through to you that what I ask for in a president is someone that just does what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can say what you want about the guy, and I'm going to leave that up to you. Because all I'm saying is, this is a good thing. Joe, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
I just wanted to say that, Preston's spot on by saying Trump does do what he says he's going to do. He follow throughs with his word.
Yeah.
He has so far, and I believe he will his entire term.
I'm hoping so, and I pray for the best. And that's all you can really do. That's all you can really do. I'm rooting for his success, and just like I rooted for Obama's success.
Right.
I voted for Obama. I voted for Trump. Sue me. Joe, we're moving on, and we're going to get into some feel-good news, okay? Because I know with the politics, we probably brought some people down. But it's important we talk about it and we touch on it because people are scared to talk about politics, and we want you to know that if you're talking about the facts, you never have anything to be scared about. So, Joe, we're going to get right into health and wellness. This comes from today.com. Basically, Jen and Matt, and please apologize, I'm terrible with last names, Regano, celebrate their wedding anniversary in September and their liveversary in February. You may say, what do you mean, Preston? Well, about 2 years ago, Jen saved her husband's life by donating part of her liver when his own began to fail.
What?
No joke, Joe. No joke at all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really serious. And Matt, who was hesitant to proceed at first because it's his wife, is now thriving and thankful he's alive.
And they're both all good.
And they're all good. They have celebrated their 2-year liverversary. I thought that was, the phrase, the phrase they coined is very funny. But I will tell you,
liverversary.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that you just have to be happy to be alive. Just be happy to be alive. Nothing's promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And God bless them both. God bless them both. Joe, when it comes to a story like this, it touches your heart a little bit. It really does.
Yeah, it definitely shows hope. Now, I don't mean to sound cliche, but those two maybe have meant to be together.
I think that they'll never get a divorce. Joe, we're going to get into another feel-good story here. Okay, we're going to keep the feel-good, that positivity, that
listeners know we love the feel-good. We need it.
We promote positivity. That's what I'm about. I don't want to bring you down. Now, there's a dog in Virginia. Okay, there's dogs everywhere, Preston.
Oh, there's a lot of dogs.
Yeah, a lot of dogs, Preston. This dog's particular name was Hudson. He was nailed down.
Now that explains it.
Yeah, well, now it explains it. Yeah, now we're getting to the real
his
story
name was
here.
Hudson?
Now we're getting to the bread and butter. Hudson was nailed down to train tracks as a puppy. So on a serious note, I feel bad for the poor guy. Here's where the feel good starts to get gelling. An orthotist is a custom making prosthetic limbs. He's a prosthetic limb individual. He makes them, and he does it for injured animals, giving them a second chance to move on all fours again. And I'll tell you one thing. He has designed a leg for this dog, and this dog has now his second chance to walk on all fours again. He's not a three-legged dog. It's a fully operational fourth leg. And I'll tell you what, his paw had to be amputated due to severe abuse. Okay? Severe abuse. And now he has a chance to serve others as a therapy dog. A therapy dog, Joe.
Wow.
So when you talk about feel-good stories, go ahead, everybody, give a shout-out to Hudson. Give a shout-out to Hudson.
Hudson's doing so much more than not only you and me, Preston.
Oh, yeah.
But so many people out here in the world. You're telling me this dog survived abuse at a young age.
Mm-hmm. This is correct.
Went through all this other trauma afterwards.
Absolutely.
Managed to get a prosthetic leg.
Right.
And now he's paying back by being like a, what does you say, a rescue dog? Like a help
Basically,
dog?
like a rescue dog. That's a good way to look at it, but they specify
Not
therapy
a
dog.
rescue, therapy
Therapy
dog.
dog.
Sorry, therapy dog. So you would think this dog needs therapy, but instead this dog is acting like a human, where it's like the human was maybe had child abuse or raped or something like that when they were
It
younger,
was bad, and like I
and
said,
then now they want to pay
mhm,
back. Man, that's crazy.
it's
This
crazy,
dog is a
and
real human.
it's a beautiful thing to see this dog surviving. You know me, you know
That's-
you. We're animal lovers, man. We're animal lovers. Most people in America and Canada, more than likely, are animal lovers, even if they don't have one. So when you hear about abuse with animals, it really saddens you. It's disheartening, and I wish there was a bigger crackdown on it. But what I will say is that this dog has a second chance, and he's given people a second chance. So
Right.
that's a beautiful thing. Joe, we're going to get into something that's very interesting here. This comes from the gaming community, which is by far the largest community there is. Am I wrong in saying that?
You're not. A lot of people might argue with you, but if they actually did the research, no.
No, yeah,
Gaming
I'm on
community
point.
is the biggest.
It is the biggest community there is. The headline here, folks: esports to be a medal event at 2022 Asian Games in a big
The
step towards
what?
Olympic consideration. Oh yeah, Joe.
Wow.
It's going down.
That's a footprint.
This is a step towards not only a new way to look at the sports world, this is a step and towards changing the fundamentals of what you want to do when you're growing up. Am I wrong in
Yeah.
saying that? I mean, I really feel like I'm on point when I say that.
Well, now it's like if this can one day be Olympic, considered Olympic medal, Olympic sport,
Right.
um, now it's wrong if a parent were to say, "Oh, you can't look up to this person if they're a professional gamer." But back in the day, or you're in my in your day,
Yeah.
if we told our parents that, "Oh, like we kind of want to do this, we want to go to gaming tournaments and make money,"
Yeah. You
they're gonna
might.
say,
Yeah.
"No,
You're
no, you
better
don't."
off. Yeah. That's like going to tell your parents you want to be a rapper or you want to be a
Yeah,
porn star. I mean, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. So that wasn't the thing to bring up to them. It was go get a real job.
yeah.
But now, this is a real job.
And it's a very real job. Now it's
It's
glorified,
mind
very
blowing.
glorified.
It's mind blowing. And what I'll tell you is, and this is very interesting, and like I said, I'm getting this all from FoxSports.com, Australia edition. What I'll tell you is that esports not only have taken a step towards consideration for an Olympic event after being approved as an official medal for the 2022 Asian Games in Hangzhou, China. This is also, and I will say it's unparalleled in a lot of places. I'm a big fan of, and this is something I wanted to see pushed harder for, that I wanted paintball to be an Olympic sport. Okay, you're running around, it's a tournament, you're getting shot at, and you're using survival skills to not get hit. I mean, I really feel like that. Why can't that be not only an expensive hobby, but an Olympic sport? Um, I just don't understand that. It was denied. I remember when it was denied. Now you're looking at video games, being able to just walk in there. And this is my only problem with it, is that you're looking at video games, able to walk in there with the only type of sweat you're breaking is a mental one.
Well,
So,
okay.
go ahead.
Um, Now when they say, okay, here's a question. This can determine what I'm about to say. When this esports, is it just like the Dota or League of Legends or stuff like that,
It is
or
going
is
to
it
be,
Counter Strike and Call of Duty as well?
well, what this one is, Joe, is actually it's going to be FIFA, and it's
Okay.
going to be Dota 2, League of Legends.
So none
Three
of
games.
those,
3 games.
none of those are shooters, violent. Well, the other ones are violent, but they're fantasy.
They're fantasy, yeah.
and none of them show like real life images besides FIFA, which is soccer.
Which is soccer, which actually
So
is one of the
the
better sport
reason
games out.
why,
Yeah.
right? Very smooth, very challenging game.
Yep.
You're 100% right there. The reason why I think um, things like paintball and stuff like that don't get escalated
Mm-hmm.
because they represent, war, shooting, violence, killing. Guns and bullets are only made to do one thing. Now, I don't think I don't love
No,
paintball.
no,
I'm not. I'm
go.
some
Please go ahead. Yeah, you're right.
some angry hockey mom and fucking I take away fun from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, paintball just represents the wrong images that they kind of want in those escalated things. And just like you said, man, gaming's. If paintball was the biggest thing out there, then I think maybe it would get considered, actually.
Yeah, but because of maybe not such a big following and maybe being so expensive to do, it takes a hit. And
In gaming, you just need a computer.
yeah,
A pretty good computer.
just
Not
need a
even
good-
that good.
no, not really. Not to play League of Legends. I can run it on a terrible tower.
There you go. Terrible tower.
I can run it on a terrible
These
tower.
days.
You know, you don't need a high-powered computer to run these games that they're playing. No, you just need a computer that can run a certain amount of RAM. So, Joe, what I'm going to bring up next to you is actually really cool. Now, this is a show that when it was on, I didn't miss an episode. Okay, I used to sit there, watch it, try to figure out what was going to happen next. Folks, we're talking about the X-Files.
X-Files.
It has been renewed for another season. Okay, new season for the X-Files. It's going to get 10 episodes on Fox starting the 2017-2018 season of, I believe, the NFL. What I'll tell you is that the last episode of the X-Files was terrible. Okay? It was terrible. It was god-awful. It was hot garbage. Now,
This whole season?
the last episode of the last
Oh, the very last
yeah,
episode.
the last season, the last episode, one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah, but the whole X-Files series as a whole, great. Awesome. It explores things that other shows don't. What I'll tell you is that they're going to get 10 episodes, so they didn't plan on doing a 15 episode, a 20 episode. I don't think they'll do another season after this. Even if the 10 episodes are hot, they pull a lot of views. They get good ratings. I don't think they'll run another season, no matter if it does good or not. When you say 10 episodes, I'm looking at that like that's your last day in the sun. That's your last day shining. So
Did you watch the
go ahead.
Did you watch the X-Files back in the day?
Yes. Never
Yeah.
missed an episode.
Now that was pretty scary to me.
That was scary to me. It was like, as a kid, if you watch Goosebumps, you're scared. That's kind of how it was as growing up when you seen the X-Files.
Yeah,
It was that
X-Files
type
was
of
scary.
It was that type of scary. So,
That song too.
oh, that song. When that song comes on, you're like, I need to look outside my window and see if there's UFOs in the sky. It just brings different types of images from what you've seen in the show, and you hear that music, and you're like, I know where that's from. Joe, what I'll tell you is that I'm looking forward to these 10 episodes. I'm looking to see what they come with. I'm looking to see how good it is. I'm looking to see how they rebound from a terrible, god-awful last episode. What I'll tell you is that I'm a big fan of the X-Files. I'm a big fan of what they talk about, and I like to see it on TV. That's kind of where I stand on the X-Files. Absolutely. Joe,
I think I'm a little too creeped out to watch it by myself.
think it maybe a little too creepy?
Yeah, I think. Well, I know the original is anyways, and the fact that it's like shot in standard definition and et cetera, et cetera. It's just
It's
creepy.
creepy. I mean, you're sitting at home. It's like, I'm this guy. Okay. People are like, I watch horror movies by myself, or I watch the scary movies by myself. I feel like a freaking weird ass if I'm sitting there watching horror movies, if I'm sitting in my house by myself watching Mike Myers, Halloween. I mean, I feel like a freaking creeper. I mean,
yeah, I can't do
I
that.
can't do it. I mean, I can't even watch The Walking Dead by myself. Okay? I have to go over to someone's house for that Sunday and watch it with them because I feel just like a weirdo. Like I'm watching death
Even
and
for zombies, really?
yeah, for zombies. I'm like, look, this is some end of the world type of
No.
stuff. Come on now. I'm not going to be sitting in my house and someone comes over. What are you watching? The Walking Dead. Oh, sure. Now, Joe, really, when I talk about The Walking Dead, I'm just not going to watch it in my house with the lights off by myself. Okay? It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to watch zombies freaking out, walking around. Then I go to bed and I probably have nightmare.
See, I don't know. I don't think I get like that scared of zombie shows. I don't think so, anyway.
So it's my understanding, you're some sort of tough guy, huh? So a tough guy.
It's not that I'm a tough guy, but let's just say just keep driving. Just keep driving till I tell you to.
So he's going to keep driving, and gas must not mean anything in Canada, but it
No.
means a lot over here. Joe, is there
That's too
anything?
bad.
It is too bad. It's sad, sad and bad. Would you like to add anything else to the X Files getting renewed for another 10 episodes on Fox?
Not much. All would say is I request if you could just play that song for me.
Yeah, I could play that song for you. Would you like to
All
hear
right.
the X Files song?
I'd like to hear it in the podcast when
Not
it's
a
aired.
not a problem. Joe, we're getting into a very important segment in our show.
Yes, we are.
This is the face-off, folks. Every week, we pin something versus something. It could be anything. We usually stay away from people. Usually stay away from things that shouldn't be up against each other. But this week we have a very interesting face-off for you, and it's going to cause a lot of stir.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, Joe. We have tuned-up rides versus muscle cars.
Wow.
It's a tough one.
Tuned up rides versus a muscle car.
Tuned-up
And now
rides versus a muscle car.
we're not really specifying
hmm
years and
Nope.
stuff like that, and
Nope.
models and stuff like that.
Preference. Strictly
Preference. And we're not talking about how much we have to spend either.
No, not even close. Nobody's business. So what I will say,
Would you like me to go first, or do you want to go first?
man, you go ahead and go first. 'Cause
So,
I don't want to let you down that early.
right. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna keep my answer short for this face-off.
No, it's okay.
I do love tuned up cars, Japanese rides, stuff like that. Totally tuned up. Newer, older, 90s, even anywhere up to 2017. They're awesome. They're cool. They have certain meanings and they do certain things, and they're lighter and they're, you can do a lot of things with them.
Everything you're saying is right. I agree with it all.
When it comes to American Muscle, it's hard to beat it. They do not make cars that look like what cars used to, what Dodges used to look like, what Chevys used to look like, what Mustangs used to look like. They just don't make cars like that anymore.
No, they don't.
But my choice is gonna be an old school muscle car.
An old school muscle car, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
an old school muscle car.
So, me and you will differ on a couple different things here. I appreciate what you said about the tuned-up rides. The same thing applies for the muscle cars. What I will say is that being who I am, I've always been a big fan of muscle cars.
Right.
From anything from a hot rod to a Hellcat, I've been a fan of muscle cars. So what I'll tell you is that the most important thing for me is not about what's faster or what sounds better. What matters to me is luxury, style.
Okay.
Now, your tuned-up ride can have a lot of style in it. Can trick it out any way you want. You can do the same thing for a muscle car. Nice leather interior. Maybe you want suede. Whatever you choose. What I will say is that with muscle cars, more than likely, it's going to come with more work. And you may say, what do you mean? Because the tuned-up rides are necessarily, always getting tuned and things of that nature. But once you decide to have a tuned-up car, you already committed yourself to tuning it up constantly, consistently. With a muscle car, I mean, you're talking about constantly not only a piece of history in a muscle car, but you're talking about something that if you want it to sound and keep running the way it does, you have to bring that in for regularly scheduled maintenance. With a tuned up ride, you can take a junker and tune it up, and it'll ride for a long time. With a muscle car, you're going to be looking at something that you don't want to just let die on the vine. And you're going to be making sure you take care of it, from everything from polish and wax to that oil change every 3,000 miles or every 6 months, whatever you do or however you drive it. You're going to be looking at a lot more work put into the muscle car than in the tuned up ride, in my opinion. What I'm going to side with this week is, and I will say this, there's a particular car I do like, and it's opposed to the older ones. I actually like the newer Mustangs opposed to the old Mustangs.
Well, you're all wrong on that one, to be honest.
Well, honestly, that's my opinion. So an opinion's not wrong. I will say that you may feel it's wrong, but it's not, because it's my opinion. What I will also say is that with muscle cars comes great responsibility and great pride. With a tuned up ride, I mean, you could just be burning rice for anybody knows. And I mean, there's really not a whole lot of pride in that until you burn it, or you burn it up, or you basically just drive it into the grave. With a muscle car comes a lot more pride. So I could see myself in a nice, very decked out interiored muscle car, opposed to a tuned up Honda. So I think we might just differ a little bit about how we got to our conclusion, but I think we're on the same page when we both say muscle car.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. When I thought we were looking at both of the options, I wasn't looking at I didn't look as money as being an issue. So you could fix up either car, whether it be a tuner, a Honda, a Subaru, a Mitsubishi, something like that, or if it's a Camaro or a Challenger, Charger, or a
But let me
Pontiac
ask you
or
one
a Mustang.
question. How do you tune it up?
What do you mean?
What
What are we
what
saying? Tuned up, like souped up kind of thing?
like swapping out a motor, from changing the transmission out to making the muffler and the intake manifold
All
run
that?
like brand new?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you could be talking about the wheels on your car and tricking those out to have the studs in the tires like you've had before. You
Right.
could be talking about a number and a variety of anything from a hood scoop to a spoiler. And when it comes down to it, you know what? You're leaving a big part of it out, because you say, "Oh, I don't want to talk about the money," but you can't do shit without the money. So you have to include it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to tune it up." With what? With money. So it's
Right.
actually
So,
irrelevant to
I
not
thought we
talk
were
about the
asking
money.
our opinion, or are we asking which one would I buy?
Well, I'm giving both. I
Oh,
prefer
okay.
the muscle car, but I'm also going to say I could see myself in that a lot more. And also, if it's up to me which one's better, I'm going to say the muscle car. That's my choice. Now, I'm
Right.
just including to it. I'm just adding to it. When I say, I could see myself in that, cost-wise, things like that. If I just give people my opinion and don't give them any type of facts or don't give them any type of statistics, then that's really kind of not fair to them. It's not fair to them. So, that's why I include those things. Joe, we're moving on to the best app feature. And I will tell you, in this segment, folks, we have a best app feature every podcast. You're going to hear best app feature.
Hmm.
This best app feature comes from Samsung. The S8 has a boatload of new features, okay? It has a boatload of new features, things you're not even going to believe. You're going to be able to enjoy those. I mean, the list I seen, it was just one of the lists I seen, Joe. It was 14 things long.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot of new features. So I had to
Yeah.
choose. I had to choose one. I'm not going to go through 14 different. I don't want to do that. I'm going to pick one that I think's the best. This is going to save people a lot of time. Instagram's getting bigger day by day. It's taken over the social media world by storm. When you're talking about a picture saying 1,000 words, it's basically true at this point. The S8 new feature I'm going to talk about lets you enhance and bring out all of the pixels. Literally enhance your photo to a place that Photoshop, PixArt, another app can't take you to. And it's going to be able to do that after you take the photo built into the camera.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, that's something that other phones are obviously going to come along with. You're probably going to see that in the next iPhone. You're probably going to see that in many of the other phones that come out. But right now, it's about the S8, baby. It's about
Yeah,
the new feature
that's
for
a
the
nice
S8.
looking phone, eh?
It is. I think if the Samsung S7 didn't have that problem with it burning up, glitching, lighting on fire, that this would still be the most highly sought after phone coming out.
Right.
But it's taken a dive because of those problems with the S7. But on the rebound, it's trying to do everything it can to make up for it, Joe.
Yeah. They're
Now
doing the right things. It'll come. It'll come again. I'm still a big Samsung supporter.
I'm a big Samsung supporter. Really, when it comes down to phones, you have two choices: Android or Apple. I mean, that's kind of where you're at. If you don't have an Android or you don't have an Apple phone, the iPhone or what have you, um, then what are you doing? What do you have? Because everything runs off either the Android or the iPhone, unless you have maybe a BlackBerry, and then you're talking about a whole different type of software. But I mean, the platform that it's on, you have two choices. So when you talk about the best phone that's going to run Android on Android, you're talking about the S8. Best
Yeah.
is and vice versa for the iPhone. So what I'll say is that I think this app feature is the best one they're going to come out with, just because it saves you from going to any other program, downloading other apps, taking up your memory, trying to make your picture look enhanced, look better, look actually how it looked when you took it outside of the camera. That's what this is about.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like that one because everyone's looking for a better picture,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. You want to take a picture of yourself. Maybe, a lot of people do photo shoots, things like that, and you're doing it right off the phone nowadays because of, Instagram and things like that. You can get it right up on the web. You can get thousands, hundreds, millions of people to see it.
Right.
And why not be able to just enhance your photo right after you take it, right built into the phone? It's convenient. It's an
Very
order of
convenient.
convenience. Um, Joe, is there anything else you want to add to the best app feature of the week?
That's it. Keep it up, Samsung.
Keep it up, Samsung. We're rooting
We'll
for your
keep
success.
featuring you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We love shouting out Samsung. And, we just like to take this time to thank everybody for listening so far and keeping up with the show so far. We appreciate it. We're moving now into our next segment, Strange or Weird Things on the Web. Every week,
Dun,
we
dun,
have
dun.
one strange or weird thing on the web. This week, Joe is ready to enlighten us.
Well, Preston, do you remember that show, Jersey Shore?
Oh, God, I remember that show.
Mike, the situation.
Yeah, yep, the
Now,
situation.
do you remember? This is a way back memory. Do you remember when the situation, first season, was in the hot tub with
Yeah.
a bunch of girls and you know what, Preston? I think you know the line. Would you mind repeating it for me?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. He was in the hot tub with a couple women. He wiped
Mm-hmm.
his the water off his face. It's hot. There's a lot of steam in the hot tub. He wipes the cold off his eyes and he looks around and he says, "I'm in a pool with a bunch of grenades."
Oh man, see, those are the type of lines on MTV that
They make MTV. They make it what
yeah,
it
they
is.
they really make
Yeah.
MTV.
They really do.
But anyways, so Mike the Situation has kind of ran into some serious trouble with the law now.
Oh no.
Ever
Oh
since
no.
back when Jersey Shore aired, ever since those eras when they started making a decent check, Mike the Situation and one of his brothers have been involved in starting businesses and
Mhm.
whether it be clothing or uh, just other entertainment and this is called Situation Nation Inc. things like that. He's been running into a lot of tax evading problems. Not paying all of his federal income taxes, false tax returns, claimed fraudulent business deductions, disguised income payments made to his brothers, and unreported business income. All these things that they start to catch up on you, Preston, and
Yeah.
uh,
And they don't let you
they
know right away. They don't
they
let
don't
you know right away.
right away. And the thing is it's one of those things where they're not really messing around, and they're not scared to make an example out of you,
Right.
and they will give you jail time.
Yes, they will. Especially if you, let's say, are a repeat offender and you've
Yeah,
done this more than once, like he supposedly, what it looks like they're saying he's done. Is that the basically what we're picking up on is that
yeah.
he's done this more than once.
They were in suspicion of him before. They didn't even file his taxes for a long time. Um, you know,
Yep.
business business deductions, hiding income. So basically, if convicted, both him and his brother can face a maximum sentence of 5 years for a conspiracy count, 3 years for each count of aiding in the preparation of false tax returns, and on top of that, Mike the Situation himself could face a maximum sentence of 10 years for each structuring count,
Wow.
or 5 for the tax evasion count. So I'm sure he's shaking in his boots right now.
And Joe, here I'm gonna bring this up, and
Yeah,
then you kind of bounce off this, whatever you want to do with it. Let's say he got convicted. They're never gonna see that money. Am I wrong?
like,
I mean, if he gets
what
convicted
money
for
do you mean?
this,
Sorry.
the money that he's been hiding from his taxes, because the
Right,
IRS
right,
at the end of the day wants their money.
right.
The best of my knowledge, they want their money. That he's been hiding, that they're speculating, and they think in the past he's done. If he gets convicted of this, then they still don't get the money.
No,
So this is not a win-loss situation for anybody. This is a lose-lose, and this is a slap in the face to everybody who does pay taxes.
yeah,
It really is, and especially people who run businesses that don't pay taxes. So what I will say is that you know God bless him and his family, and I'm sorry for those affected by his mistakes. But I can only wish the best for people.
yeah.
But I think it's sad if it is true that he's really hiding and avoiding paying his taxes and running businesses on the side and manipulating the income and manipulating his deductions. And I really have a problem with that. But Joe, the reason this Strange Weird Things on the Web was important
Mhm.
is because this shapes up the most important segment of the week. Every podcast, we have a junk file. Okay,
Yes, we do.
something has to go in the junk file.
It has to. Sometimes it sucks to put something in the junk file.
Sucks. It has a chance to redeem
We have
itself.
to.
It has a chance to redeem itself. It's not lost forever. But I don't believe this one will ever redeem itself. And Joe, good job on Strange Weird Things on the Web, because this leads us right into the junk file. Because this week's junk file, folks, manipulators,
Mm-mm-mm.
self-help gurus, people who promise you the world and will tell you they'll bring you the moon and the stars, people who will manipulate you to believe that they know what they're talking about. Maybe they act like they're qualified. Well, guess what, folks? Those are the type of people that ruin this country. Manipulators. They ruin any country. You shouldn't have to throw your weight around to get your point across. You shouldn't have to convince me. If something's already good, you shouldn't have to convince me it's good. It should already
Right.
be face value
Good.
good. And with manipulation, it can go from anybody to an actual human being to actual human beings manipulating their taxes, manipulating
Mm.
currency, manipulating many, many things. And what I will say is this week's junk file, stamping on the ground. It's manipulators.
Mhm.
It,
Goodbye, express shipping to the moon.
goodbye express shipping to the moon. We're not buying it. We're not buying it. This is a sell. This is a sell. It's a petty thing. It's almost a petty crime. Almost.
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 Could be.
Close enough.
Could work its way.
It's working its way there. Especially after it got put in the junk file. Joe, now we're starting to come to the close of the show. We're starting to wind down a little bit. So we're going to get pumped up. We're going to get amped up. We're going to get fired up for the Hidden Gem of the Week.
Let's go!
Let's go. Lego. Hidden Gem of the Week. Every podcast, we give you a hidden gem. We give you a hidden gem because I don't know if anybody else is giving anybody a hidden gem.
No.
I'm going to put you on game this week. I'm going to put you on game so much, you're going to come back and say, Preston, thank you for putting me on game. Now, what I'll tell you is that this week's hidden gem came after rigorous debate of what should be the hidden gem. Very tough meetings this week going over what would be the hidden gem. What I will tell you is that we have decided, folks. This week's hidden gem is old, but not too old. It's a goodie, not a baddie.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, a small town in Kansas is literally left in the dark after seeing a mushroom cloud over nearby Denver, Colorado. The townspeople struggle to find answers about the blast and solutions on how to survive. This week, the hidden gem is a TV show called Jericho.
Jericho.
Now, I really enjoy this show. Watched it from the top to the bottom. Impressed with the actors. We can go back to The Walking Dead. If you didn't know, Morgan from The Walking Dead was in the show. And he had a major role. Huge role. There's also a couple people, other famous people you'll realize. Someone from the Sons of Anarchy is in it. Surprise, surprise. Some other, like I said, famous people are in this show. You will enjoy every second of it. Suspense, drama, action, romance. But I will tell you, it covers everything as far as end of the world without zombies. Enjoy Jericho. Have a blast. 30 episodes. Go ahead and binge watch it. That is the hidden gem of the week.
Okay.
Joe, is there anything you'd like to add to the hidden gem of the week?
I really liked it. I
Thank
can add something to the final thought since we're winding down.
Yeah, please, if you would actually like to start off the final thought.
Well, folks, as we start to wind down the show, I know it's a sad time of the show. You don't want to go home.
Yeah, we're sorry.
You don't want to leave the movie theater.
We're sorry.
And you don't want to leave the concert.
We're sorry.
But every show ends, Preston. You know that.
It has to end at some point.
So, start your cars, folks.
Yep.
Don't shut down your internet quite yet.
Not yet. Not just yet.
But I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that we are shooting the podcast now on scheduled times on Tuesday and Fridays.
Yes. Correct.
If I'm not wrong, and it may not be every time, but I'm pretty sure we're going to try. Don't hold me accountable, but we're going to try to go live on YouTube for every show.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, if you missed the live stream, you can still watch the YouTube video after. But it's cool if you want to go in the live stream because it's on a small delay, but it's there.
It's there.
And other than that, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe to all of our channels and our pages. Really start to check out our website, www.riverstmarketing.com. Tons of content. We have either our latest podcast or one of our latest vlogs on there. We'll have clothing soon, so merchandise soon, and then obviously, one of Preston's top articles he decides to post.
Yep.
Will always be on there too.
You got it. You got it, Joe. Thank you. What I'll have to say about the final thought, short but sweet. Fight words with words. The most affordable way we can slow violence down is to embrace debate and speak it into existence. Folks, that's my final thought of the week. I want you to have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive. And I'm not talking cigarettes. Other than that, Joe, is there anything else you'd like to add for the folks at home?
That's it. Just if anyone's listening, make sure Ryan knows that he missed work and you guys aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, let Ryan know that it's actually not acceptable. But you know what? Everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt at least once. So we're gonna go ahead and give Ryan this once.
Yes, we will.
Joe, as a pleasure. It is a pleasure as always to be on the podcast with you, for you to be a
Yes, it
part of
is.
River Street Marketing, to bring Canada and America, and we meet. We throw
Yep.
down. Thank you. Everybody at home, have a good night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.